You know what? I'm just going to vent. So this is going to be a stream of consciousness. So basically, YouTube really does suck. Especially on the end of a content creator because they are extremely strict when it comes to what you can and can't say on the platform. Anything you say could be viewed as politically incorrect. And all it takes is 10 seconds. Like if you say anything politically incorrect within a 10-second time frame, you're gone. You get a community guideline strike, even if a person took you out of context, or even if you were doing a response video. If somebody said something that's against Twitter's rules, and you do a response video to that, and you had the offensive material in your video, you could still get a community guideline strike. Because you see, like I said last time, I did like a Twitter poll, and in my Twitter poll, 30 people participated. And out of 30 people, 60% wanted me to talk about TERFs or gender critical feminists. And for me, I'm thinking, why bother? Because YouTube and Twitter, they pretty much only allow for one opinion anyway. Those people could easily get their channels deleted, and I mean, think about it. If you feel like you have a hard time with censorship as an anti-feminist, they have a harder time than you do. They have a worse time when it comes to censorship. Why bother saying anything because you could only allow one opinion anyway? And I'm not even sure if that's even helps trans people at all either, because if one opinion is allowed on YouTube and if one opinion is allowed on Twitter, then are people saying it because they like you, or are they saying it because they have to? It would be hard to separate yourself from fake friends. You are probably surrounded by fake friends and you probably don't even know it. And a person who is closest to you, they could stab you in the back. You are probably surrounded by fakes. You probably are, because only one opinion is allowed. And it's super easy for anybody to just go, that's a gender critical feminist, or that's a TERF, and for them to easily lose their Twitter, easily get purged off Twitter. And then what? What happens when they are purged off Twitter? What are you going to do then? What is your next content? It's kind of like you thought that, anti-feminist content got old really fast and really repetitive. What happens? We go like, yeah, I'm going to get this person. That's a TERF. And they end up getting purged off Twitter. Twitter's going to like, we're going to get rid of all of them. And then you have nothing left to make a video on. In the end, I mean, if anti-feminists want to go to TERFs, that's fine. But you're going to be the next most offensive thing on Twitter because they got rid of the alt-rights and many alt-rights accounts are purged off Twitter. They are purging the gender critical feminist off Twitter. As an anti-feminist, you're going to be the next most offensive thing on Twitter. You're next. Your Twitter is going to eventually be purged because you would be the most offensive thing on Twitter. The only good thing about the alt-rights or any of these groups is that it is like a slippery slope. They are to the far ends of the extreme. So if they have free speech, you have free speech. But when they are purged because they are extremely offensive, and then the gender critical feminists are purged because they are extremely offensive, who's next? Who's next? As an anti feminist, you are the next of the most offensive thing on Twitter. Now you're the most offensive. Now you gotta go. Think of that. Anyway, this was just a rant because I've made a bunch of videos actually, and I'm talking about videos you haven't seen because they could easily get purged off YouTube. When I say purged, what I mean is, again, you have 10 seconds. If you say anything offensive within 10 seconds, you're gone. You got a community guideline strike because you said something offensive. It doesn't matter if they took you out of context or not. It doesn't matter if you were being sarcastic. 10 seconds and you have a community guideline strike. They don't even care about the bigger picture. So, and you could only have one opinion, basically. So you could only have the opinion of intersectional feminism, because if you do not talk like they do, you could get kicked out. Unless you're like Logan Paul or Jake Paul, and if you're on YouTube preferred or Google preferred, whatever it's called, you can say whatever you want and you don't have to worry about it. Or Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska talked about getting some sort of contract with YouTube. That's the way that he could say whatever he wants to. And no matter how many times people reports his videos, he could be safe and he doesn't have to worry about it. Because, I mean, there are, ways to get out of it to not have to deal with the same shit as everybody else. But in the end, you just really cannot give your true opinions anymore, because if you say anything politically correct at any point of time in your video, you're gone. So that's my opinions on it. Sorry, I mean, it's just a stream of consciousness. So it's probably not my best video, but it's probably one of my realest videos. Anyway, this has been Remy Kylis.